Not understanding these three things is all it takes for little boys to never mature and grow into a true man. In today's society, the men of old are dead and gone. We are in a full-blown masculinity crisis. The number of college-educated men is plummeting, while at the same time the number of sexless men is skyrocketing. While at the same time the number of women who are becoming millionaires off the backs of these lonely men and their subscriptions to OnlyFans is truly astounding. And most believe that the age of the masculine man is dead, but it doesn't have to be this way. So little boys, listen to me closely. If you continue to go through life not understanding these three things, then you have no chance of taking your power back and reaching your full potential as a man. Now, y'all know I ain't no Xbox, I ain't no PlayStation, I ain't no Oculus Quest, so we ain't playing no games. We're gonna hop right into it. Guys, the first thing that you need to understand is that no one is coming to save you. No one. In my opinion, the current generation of men is pathetic. They are constantly looking for handouts. They are constantly looking for someone to bail them out. They are constantly looking for someone to help. They're constantly trying to rely on anyone and anything besides themselves. How do I know this? Just look around you. The guy that always gets rejected, the guy that never gets the girl. You never see him actually taking steps to improve his life in that area. Nope, he's always waiting for some magical fairy just to come on and sprinkle dust on him in hopes that one day he'll actually be able to get girls. Look at men who are barely able to take care of themselves. They work minimum paying jobs, they work minimum wage, but instead of using their energy to increase their skill or increase their value to the marketplace, what do? They look to the government, who doesn't give two shits about them, to help out with their life. If you just open your eyes for 1 second, you will see that there is a whole group of men out there refusing to take action, refusing to better their lives, and they are just sitting around waiting for someone to come and save them. So zoom in on me when I say this so I can repeat this very clearly. No one is coming to save you. As men, we have to stop relying on our parents. We have to stop relying on our friends. We have to stop relying on outside parties. We have to stop relying on the government to come take care of us. I'm gonna say this to you because I needed someone to say this to me when I was 20. Your life is your responsibility and your responsibility alone. And I know that can be a tough pill to swallow, but to the guys that soak this in, they're gonna understand. The moment you stop blaming everyone else for where you are, that's when everything changes. The moment you stop feeling like everything that's happening outside of your life or outside of your control is not in your control, that's the moment you become empowered. Guys, you have to understand, once you do that shift from it's their fault to it's my fault, something crazy happens, guys. It opens your eyes and lets you understand that, oh my God, it was my actions and my decisions that led me here to this point in my life. But once you realize that, oh my gosh, it's my actions and my decisions that can lead me to a different and better place in life. And when we take control of our own lives, when we take control of our own decisions, that is when we take control of our own destiny, fellas. Victim mentality is a term that refers to the tendency to see oneself as a victim, the tendency to think that one is oppressed or being mistreated by others. Now, don't get me wrong. Do bad things happen to good people? Yes. Are there real victims out there? Yes, absolutely. But having the victim mentality is a lot more than just about logistics. Having the victim mentality is a mindset, and it is a mindset that can be incredibly dangerous to young men. Blaming everyone else, blaming outside circumstances, blaming your situation are all things that will keep you held back and keep you stuck. And to be honest with you guys, the reason I know this is because I used to have this same mentality. You wouldn't be able to tell by my current videos, but my comeback to everything that happened to me in life was, oh, it's because I'm black. Can you believe that? That was my comeback. Oh, I didn't get the job? Must be because I was black. Oh, her parents didn't like me? They gotta be racist. Oh, I'm not succeeding? Oh, that's because it's much harder for a black person to succeed in America. Yes, I was that guy. It's very hard to believe, and I hated myself when I was doing it. And honestly, this is why I'm not a big fan of the BLM movement or people that support it. It's because it started out with great intentions, but it is morphed into something that is something I can no longer recognize. Sure, has your life probably been harder because you're black? Yes. Sure, did you get pulled over because you were racially profiled? Okay, maybe so. Do you live in the projects currently because of systematic racism? Okay, maybe I could see it, but also on the other side of the coin, is it possible that the reason you may live in the projects is because every time we see your son, he has the newest pair of Jordans on instead of you investing? I'm just saying, is that even possible? And this is why I don't really support BLM. It teaches people to live in the past. It teaches people that if I whine loud enough, if I cry loud enough, if I scream loud enough that I'm a victim, that somebody's gonna come save me with something like reparations, and my life is just gonna magically change. And newsflash for you guys, reparations will never happen. So now what? What are you going to do now? Are you going to keep pulling the victim card and keep blaming everyone else and not take responsibility for where you are in your life? Or are you going to drop your sack and actually take the actions that you know you need to take to get where you want? That's up to you to choose. So let me tie this all together for you guys. You may have been a victim of something, but you, sir, are not a victim. Let me say that one more time. You are not a victim. And once you drop the victim mentality, guys, everything in your life will change for you. Moving on. Extreme ownership is a concept made popular by a best-selling book by a guy that was a Navy SEAL for a long time. His name was Jocko Willink. And that is what men must understand, and that is what they must do. They must understand that they have to take extreme ownership of their lives. Extreme ownership is a mindset. It's an attitude. It's a mindset that says leaders have to take responsibility for everything that happens in their lives. There is no one else to blame. Guys, you may not think that you are a leader, but you are a leader. You are a leader. You are the CEO of your own life. And so the buck stops with you. In the book Extreme Ownership, which I recommend you read, Jocko talks about how he took responsibility for everything that happened wrong with his team, even if he wasn't really the man that was at fault. And he said that's because that's what a leader does, even if it meant that he would get fired. And he said if anyone deserves to be fired, since he's the one leading the team, it needed to be him. That is an example of a man taking control of everything in his world. Sure, did some of his teammates probably mess some things up, not follow his directions accordingly? Yes. But you know what? At the end of the day, it was him that couldn't get them trained up correctly. It was him that didn't make sure they understood the importance of whatever orders that he was sending out. So at the end of the day, it was his fault. And I know that seems harsh, but what it will do, guys, it will enlighten you. So let me remix this for you guys. You are the leader and the CEO of your life. Therefore, you are responsible for anything that comes in and comes out of your life. That is what it is. If you have a toxic girlfriend that's holding you back, guess what? That's your fault. It is your choice to keep her in your life and keep her as a distraction. If your boys dragged you out all weekend, so now you're hungover and you can't produce when the week comes up, guys, guess what? That is your fault, because it is your responsibility, the company you keep, and you continue to choose with those guys who are not aligned with where you want to go. It is your fault for going out when you know you had something better to do, and it is your fault for not actively going out and trying to create a tribe that is aligned with where you want to go. Guys, by taking extreme ownership of everything in your world, you will soon be enlightened to the fact that you are also pretty much in control of everything that's happening in your world, and you have the power to change it. So I'll leave you guys with one last quote from Jocko, man. He said, good leaders don't make excuses. Instead, they figure out a way to get it done. In other words, like I always say on this channel, winners win.